We live. We live. Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. I love coming live with you guys. How's it going? If you're watching the replay, thank you for being here. If you're watching live, thank you for being here. We're here to talk about emotional eating. This is my favorite topic in the whole world. I gotta say, because this was my quest to get over emotional eating, to end that. And I can safely say now that I know exactly how to do it. And I want to teach you. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Vincent is also here to talk to you, but she's going to do it more in the form of purring. I wonder if you can hear her. She's rubbing her face on the microphone. I'm sure you heard that. Let me know where you guys are watching from in the comment section. Please say hello, introduce yourself. Chila, my dear Chila. Hi, Chila. She is an amazing woman. One of my friends from back in Sarasota, Florida, when I used to live there. Chila has done many of our 21-day challenges. I'm so glad to see you, my dear. Hello. Who else is here? Let me know. I'm going to get into it a little bit here and just start talking. I want to know where you guys are from. And so yeah, today we're talking about how to end emotional eating, but not just that. This is also just a regular Q&A too. So if you have any questions about Eat to Live or anything like that, Priscilla, hello from LA, very close to me. I'm in Vegas, getting some nice weather in this part of the country now. Thank goodness, finally. This is also a Q&A like always. So if you have any questions, put them in the comment box there, and I will be sure to answer every single question that comes in unless they are profane. And then I have to block you, but that's fine too. If you're watching the replay, thanks so much for watching. I'm doing this video because we are open for registration right now for the Eat to Live Academy, the 8-week Eat to Live Academy. I'm going to tell you more about what that is very soon. But if you have been waiting to get into the academy, now is your chance. This is the last time you can get in for this whole year. You won't be able to get in again. Okay. Priscilla says, "Oh, you were born in Vegas? So were my kids, but I don't know anyone else." That's awesome. Yeah, so Eat to Live Academy is open right now for registration, only open for a few more days. So make sure you get in on that. I'm going to tell you today how to end emotional eating. And we're going to go through like some very, very key concepts here. And as we go through them, if you have any questions, let me know. But I want you to be thinking along the lines of this is just the tip of the iceberg, what she's telling me right now, right? The tip of the iceberg for how to end emotional eating in your life. There's so much more that you can know and so much more that you can apply in your own life. And I've put it all into the Eat to Live Academy. So why did I make the academy? It's because in my own personal journey, I come from a place of overeating, binging, like clinically, not diagnosed, but clinically characterized as a binge eater, meaning, I would eat way more than you need to many times a week at many meals, and I couldn't stop. Or I felt like I couldn't stop. And so I had this kind of like lifelong quest. Like I know healthy eating is attainable because people do it. And I know that you can like it even in the face of all this terrible junk food around us. I know it's not hopeless, but I don't know how to do it. So I want to figure it out. And so when I started my website back in 2012, it was just a regular food blog because I loved food, like pure and simple. I used to go to this internet marketing group back in Sarasota, and I made this website as a result of going to that group because I was like, no, I want to have my own website or whatever. And if you ask any of the people that were in that room, and I'm still friends with some of them on Facebook, they'll tell you, yeah, she made that blog just because she loved food. She was like a chocoholic, basically. That's why I made this website. But then so it's kind of like looking for my niche, and I didn't know what it was going to be, but I just knew I wanted to have a website. And I was also a binge eater. I was also, a heavy overeater, constantly 30, 40 pounds overweight, couldn't get it under control, regular binges every week. But I also knew I wanted to eat healthy. I just was like, but how do you do that when pizza, how do you do that when gourmet food, like when just these things exist? Remember that these are Q&As that I do too. So if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comment section next to us, and then I can answer your questions. And let me know where you're from. Make sure you guys let me know where you're from. Say hello. Say hello to me. I want to hear from you guys. And I'll give you a little shout out. I want to say hi. so I'm a binge eater, compulsive overeater, and I wanted to eat healthy. So I went on this quest. It was like, I know this is possible. I just don't know how. And that's when I found the book Eat to Live in 2013. I read it, I devoured it. I was like, this is it. This is what my website's going to be about. And I immediately did an about face and just started doing Eat to Live stuff. And it's really funny because you can see I was kind of in a transition in 2013, 2014. And you can see I still put up like cocktails and shots on my website, recipes and things like that, because I was still transitioning. So you can see that I've left all that stuff up from the past, which is hilarious. But it was what it was, and I had my own transition too. And so when I kind of was on this quest, like, how am I going to eat healthy, do this Eat to Live thing as an overeater? How am I going to get there? And that became my quest. So I started, Priscilla, inspired by Dr. Furman at the age of 14. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. I wish I would have found him that early. I was 30, 32, I think. No, 31 when I found him. Yeah, 31. Um, and so I start doing this, and I'm like, and the promise of the book is you're going to be able to do this if you just eat high nutrient food, right? Your cravings will go away. You'll lose all the weight. You'll be able to do it for life. And he literally says that in the beginning of the book. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been looking for my whole life. So I set out to test it. And I did. And everything went great for the first few months. And I was obsessed and I thought it was great until my dad died. And then everything just fell apart. And I thought, because I'm eating high nutrient food, it's gonna be fine. I'll be able to just, continue to none wear listens started at age 70. Amazing. 3 years ago. That's so wonderful. It's literally never too late, right? Like never ever too late. Priscilla says, now as a 22-year-old, I'm still very passionate about nutrition, studying it in college. That's amazing. Wonderful, wonderful. Keep it up. And then become a steward of this as well, because we all need this information, right? But what I realized was, dang it, it's not just the high nutrient food, right? It's not just the food that does it. You need something else. I mean, at least I did. It wasn't enough. Dr. Furman says it's enough, but for some of us, I think we need some more help. uh, I did, certainly. So I was like, all right, how do I get over the binging part? Because I just never kind of got there. My cat always thinks that she's more important. I mean, she kind of is, right? But like, so I was like just searching for what's the other thing that's going to help me stop the binge eating? What's the other thing that's going to help me stop the overeating? And even if I'm overeating on Eat to Live foods, right? Like I would eat nuts and seeds or dates or things like that. How do you give that stuff up? And I had a lot of commenters back in the day say things like, well, you just have to give it up cold turkey. And I'm like, I know, but like how? Right? That's what I found. That's when I found the life coaching school that I got my certification from, which I got in 2019, but I found them in 2018. And so I started to really start to put this together with my Eat to Live information as well into, I think, the most powerful health program in the world. How do you eat to live, which is the best food on the planet? And how do you clean up your mindset to a place where you don't binge anymore and you don't need food for comfort and you don't need emotional support from food, right? If you can get those two things in line, your health is set. Yeah. You can improve anything health wise in that respect. Oh my gosh. No, none more listen says lost 28 pounds, can now do 25 push-ups, 250 sit-ups, 250 leg lifts. It really is never too late. Oh my gosh. That's so inspiring. Thank you for sharing that. My audience, I would say, is typically 50 plus, right? Women who are 50 plus, usually around 55, 60 years old. Those are my people. And these are the people who want, I mean, if that's you, these are the people who want this because it's that time in their life where they're like, I'm ready to just do something for me. And I mean, I wish women would realize this earlier, like at age 14, Priscilla, like you've done. But the sad fact is that the majority of us don't find it until much later in life. And the beautiful part about that is, anyways, that it isn't too late. You can always take your health back and improve from where you are. And I have created a program that makes it so that you can get the mindset part in order too. So let me explain a little bit about how that works, okay? Let me know if you guys are just coming on, where you're coming and watching from. And we got a bunch of people on here now. I'm so excited to see all of you. Let me know where you're watching from. Remember, this is a Q&A, so if you have any questions about your own personal struggles or just Eat to Live in general, any detailed questions, anything, let me know there and I will answer for sure. Sheila says, mindset's so important, still working on it. Yeah, Sheila, we all are, babe. Like this is our thing. And if we get it done with the weight loss and the food, then we have it to apply to other stuff, right? The way we budget, the way we spend our money, the way we treat our partners, the way we treat ourselves, right? Like, we can apply this to everything. That's why it's so fun to coach as a private coach. And then my private coaches, Nancy and Karen, same kind of thing. We really feel like we have the best job in the world because we get to just talk about the stuff that makes people feel better and makes people feel in control after so many years of not being in control. So we're going to talk today about how to end emotional eating. And the reason we talk about it is because it's important, but also because I am opening up the Eat to Live Academy right now, which is my mindset coaching program. It's like a digital program, 8-week Eat to Live course, all about mindset. So I'm going to give you all the tools. I'm going to give you one major tool here in just a minute here. I'm going to give you all these tools in the academy of my private coaching program. So when you get into a private coaching relationship with me or with Nancy or with Karen, these are the things that we base our coaching on. And what it does is it just up levels things for you, right? Like, you can think of it just like, she's like crawling all over everything. You can just think of it like up leveling each thing that you're working on in your life, just taking it to that next level. And when you know, as I was saying to Sheila, like, when you know this stuff, you can apply it to everything in your life. So start with the food thing, get that thing figured out, which is what I did, and then move on to other pieces in your life. I'm also doing I'm doing a vlog series, a weight loss vlog series for myself because I just had twins and I'm going to lose 40 pounds in order to get back to where I was before I was pregnant and even further lower weight wise, so I can get at a healthy nutritarian weight and just get back to where I was before I was pregnant. I'm doing a vlog series about that, and I'm going to tell you exactly everything I'm doing and what I'm doing with my mindset and how I'm shifting things to get back to the place where weight loss is easy again. And I know exactly how to do it, and I'm going to share that with you in a vlog series that I've already started a few weeks ago, and I'm going to be releasing that in what I'm calling the Eat to Live family, which opens up next year. It's a monthly coaching program, and you'll be able to get in on that soon in that vlog series. But we're also in that coaching program, we're going to be talking about the Eat to Live Academy. So all of the concepts in the academy, get into the academy now, because this is basically what I did. Was I would have a bunch of private coaching clients and we would all have one-on-one calls, and I would realize, like, I'm just saying the same things over and over and over and over again to every single person, because lo and behold, everyone actually has the same issue. It all boils down to the same stuff. Now, it looks different for everyone, but it's actually all the same issue. And I'll explain what that issue is in just a second. I'm going to give you that big tool. But everyone has the same issue. So I was like, I'm always saying the same stuff. I'm always repeating the same messages. I want to make this more accessible than just to private clients, because that's how I started, was just doing private coaching. And I was like, I want to do this for more people than just my private clients. I want to be able to make this available to everybody in an 8-week course so that you can just watch the videos, learn them, and then you can actually practice them in the included Facebook group. So that's what I created. At the beginning of this year in 2020, when I was 16 weeks pregnant, I created the Eat to Live Academy and recorded all these videos with these different lessons. I'll go through the lessons in a minute to tell you what they're like, to give you them where you can consume them at your own pace, and you can watch the videos at your own pace, and then you can get help in the Facebook group. That help in the Facebook group is like just invaluable, because you can get help from me personally, help from Coach Karen and Coach Nancy, and you can actually also go back through all the old questions and answers and things like that of previous academy members too. So all the previous classes that we've opened, this is our 4th opening now our fourth registration period. Or maybe it's our fifth. Maybe it's our fifth. Yeah, so we have classes come through, and what's so cool about the academy is once you've gone through it, you have lifetime access to it. So you never like you get lifetime updates and things like that, and you can always have access to us in the Facebook group for help. Um, Patrice says, my first time doing Eat to Live was in 2013, 5'7", went down from 180 to 150, lost 30 pounds in 30 days. Then I got pregnant. Oh, I know how that feels. It's been a roller coaster since then. That roller coaster, Patrice, is why I made the Eat to Live Academy. 100%. It's why can't I maintain this? Why can't I stay consistent? That's why I created the academy. Because it's all mindset. The reason you can't is because of your thoughts. I'll explain that in a second. And then Tosh says, hello. So interesting about the new coaching program. Yes, I can't wait to give you more details about that, but that's not until next year. But we will be going through the academy lessons over and over and over again in that new program as well. So the stuff that's in the academy now, you want to know this now, because the sooner you put this into place in your life, the sooner you start to get those dividends. You start to make huge changes in your brain that you never even knew you needed to fix, right? And that's what I'm saying, like combining Eat to Live foods with this mindset stuff, that's what really creates the change, the long-term change. All right, so remember, this is a Q&A right now, so feel free to ask any questions you have or make any comments in the comment section now. If it sounds like the Eat to Live Academy might be interesting for you, there's a link to the page where the registration page in the description of this video. I'm also going to put it in a comment here so you can sign up for it. Just go there now and check it out while we're on this video. And like always, this is only open for registration for a few days. So today's Tuesday. We just opened registration yesterday. We only got a couple days left that registration is going to be open. Carol says, hi, Carol from Texas. Hello, lady. Love seeing you again. Love your cat too. Do you want her? Just kidding. How are the babies? The babies are awesome. Yeah, Carol's referring to the fact that I just had twins almost 5 months ago now. And we have a toddler as well. And everybody's doing so good. It was kind of an adjustment period there for a while. And frankly, we're still adjusting. I didn't underestimate what it would be like. I'm just like, oh yeah, we're still adjusting. We're still adjusting. Like I thought maybe, because with my daughter, it took about 3 months to kind of get used to being a new mom and getting into the swing of working again and whatever. And this time it's like, whoa, going from 1 to 3 kids and having 2 infants is like, yeah, things are going to be just totally different nowadays. But I love it. It's good. I hate to say it, but they're such great sleepers. There's just really, I mean, they just smile all the time and we're loving it. So thanks for asking, Carol. We're doing good. And now I'm just excited to open up the academy for you again, because I know what the struggle feels like. I know what that feels like to wonder, like, why can't I get my crap together? Why can't I eat healthy consistently? I need to, because I'm going to have diabetes, or I have diabetes, or, I have had cancer before, or I just had a cancer diagnosis, or, I need to lose the weight. I have high blood pressure or high cholesterol or whatever, all these things that come up for us when we have been continually overeating our whole life. And I mean, I had gestational diabetes during my pregnancy, and I know that must be related to, and everyone like medically says they don't understand where gestational diabetes comes from. But if you ask Dr. Furman, he's like, it's a lifetime of eating poorly. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense why I would get it, because I certainly have abused sugar in my lifetime so much. And how do you stop doing that? How do you okay, so we just did a 21-day challenge, right? I put on these 21-day challenges every quarter, which are recipes and meal plans and grocery lists. We just finished one of those. We all did it together. There was hundreds of people again this time that joined in. Do a 21-day challenge, meal plans, grocery lists, prepping and stuff like that. Lots of people lose weight. I've seen a lot of people lose 6, 10, 15 pounds and just in the 21 days. It's so exciting. But the number one question I get after a challenge is done is, how do I keep doing this? How do I keep going? Cheri, you and Nancy have thought of everything for these challenges. We don't have to think about a thing for 21 days. Now what? Right? The question is not what's wrong with me. The question is not why can't I do this. The question is how do I get myself to do it when I don't want to, right? Because like anyone can do something for 21 days or anyone can do something for like 2, 3, 4, 5 days or something like that. I mean, some of us can maybe only get through maybe one day or half a day of eating like this, but like how do you do it consistently? Wherever you're at, if you can only get through one meal of Eat to Live, that's the only thing you can do. How do you get to 2 meals? How do you get to 5 meals? How do you get to 10? How do you get to 21 days? How do you get to 42 days? How do you get to a year? Consistently, not falling off the wagon and coming back and falling off the wagon. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how do you just put down the drama and eat this way? That's your mindset. So let's talk. The basis of this video, the whole subject of this video is how to end emotional eating. So let me give you the main tool. I've talked about this before, but I've never talked about it in this way before, very specifically. So I want to give you this today. And then I want you to understand that this main tool that I'm talking about today is the basis of the Eat to Live Academy. So if it sounds interesting to you, look into joining the Academy. Give it to yourself as a Christmas present. It'll be the best Christmas present you've ever had, I promise, if you do the lessons and you start to actually look at your own thought work. So I'm going to show you something which is the basis of everything we talk about in my private coaching, Nancy and Karen's private coaching, and the basis of the Eat to Live Academy as well. The idea is that, so how to end emotional eating, right? How to be consistent. The idea is that our thoughts are creating our results, okay? So if you don't have a piece of paper or something, write this down. Go get a pencil, go get a piece of paper, whatever. Write this down. Your thoughts create your results. So when we're talking about results here, I'm talking about the weight that you're at right now, the clothes that you're wearing right now, the car that you drive right now, the house you live in, whether or not you have a cat or a dog or whatever. Every single result, like how much money is in your bank account, all of those results in your life are because of your thoughts, okay? And I'll show you exactly why. So this is the model that we talk about in my coaching. This is the self-coaching model. The idea is that our thoughts create our results, but how do they do that? They do it via our feelings and our actions. So our thoughts actually create our feelings. I'll explain why that's important in just a second. Our feelings create our actions, and our actions create our results. So if you weigh 150 pounds, like I do right now, which is a result of eating the amount of food I did and being pregnant, which was a result of wanting comfort during my pregnancy, right? Or just being hungry because I was making kids. But afterwards, this last 5 months has not all been because I'm breastfeeding or something. There's a lot of emotions in there as well. And it's because of my thoughts, like I need to have comfort or whatever, right? So that makes 150 pounds for me. If I want to change this result to be 110 pounds, which is my goal, my lifelong goal, 110 pounds, I need to change all these things. But the only thing I need to worry about is this one. Because if I change my thoughts, it all falls in line. So I'm going to give you a simple example of how this works real quick. I just talked about this on Facebook too, but if you have any questions about this, guys, let me know in the chat section. Even if you don't have questions about this, just about general Eat to Live or anything like that, let me know. We're talking about this because this is what's included in my Eat to Live Academy. And this is what will up-level your life. I promise you. This right here will change your life if you let it. And I'll explain how. So let's do a very simple example of how this works, okay? We're going to talk about pets. So I have 2 cats. Now, I've had these cats for 9-10 years now and got them from the shelter back in Sarasota, Florida, where I used to live with my ex-husband. And the way that it worked, like my result is having 2 cats, okay? But here's how this happened. So back in 2009 or 2010, I can't remember, my ex-husband and I both started talking, like we had thoughts about wanting to have a pet, right? Like our thoughts were, I want to have a pet, or I had a cat before, I want to have a cat again, or cats are easy to take care of, so let's get a cat. Now, my ex-husband and I, Sheila, I think she's on here, she knows my ex-husband, we weren't a great match marriage-wise. And I think we kind of knew that a little bit because we hesitated on having children, and we didn't have a lot of money when we first were married either. And so our thoughts were, she has that little, yeah. little emoji. That's hilarious. But when we were married, um, actually no Sheila through my ex-husband, which is so fun. I got the good end of the deal on that one, Sheila. So our thoughts were together collectively. We don't want to have children yet, but we do want to have something to take care of. So let's get a cat. We both had cats before. They're very easy. These were the thoughts in our heads. Like they're so easy to take care of. They kind of take care of themselves. You don't have to do much. Let's get a cat. Those were our thoughts. Those thoughts created feelings. The feelings were like desire, maternal, paternal instinct, wanting, longing, companion kind of feelings, love, whatever. So our thoughts, I want a cat, created a feeling of desire. That desirous feeling for a pet created actions of going to the cat depot in Sarasota, Florida together one weekend. And then having a result of picking out a cat. And so now we have this result of having a cat, right? Why do I still have this cat? Because my thought pattern led me here over 10 years. Like my thoughts were, I'm going to keep this cat. I'm going to make sure she has a forever home. Cats should have forever homes. She shouldn't be rehomed. I'm going to take care of her no matter what. Like those were my thoughts that created feelings of like determination, actions, taking care of her, feeding her, results, still having the cat 10 years later, right? Even if she's a total brat. That's how our thoughts create our results. Okay. So let's talk about how that happens in weight loss. So typically we have a result of whatever that weight is. It could be 150 pounds. It could be 190 pounds. It could be 350 pounds. It could be 500 pounds. That's our result. That result is based on our thoughts. Why? Because our thoughts are something, well, I'll tell you what mine are. Okay. My thoughts were always, if I would see something that I liked, like bread or some kind of a carb, right? I've always loved carbs, pasta, things like that. My thought would be something like, I love that so much. I really want to eat that. It's going to make me feel so much better. I've got to eat the whole thing. If I eat the whole thing now, then it won't be there tomorrow. So I won't binge on it tomorrow. Maybe I'll just binge on it today. But I have to eat the whole thing because I can't throw it out because it's just too good and I got to eat it now. That was my thought pattern around pasta for the longest time. Okay. Which led to feelings of urge, desire, immediacy, like urgency, must eat now, which led to actions of eating now, which led to results of whatever my weight has been in the past because of that, right? That's how that created my current weight right now. Some thoughts that created 150 were, I have gestational diabetes. I can't eat anything sweet right now, but I sure am going to have some when I'm not pregnant anymore, which definitely happened. And I had gestational diabetes and I really want to have some sugar right now. It's totally okay. Feelings of urgency around sugar, actions, eating a lot of sugar, results, not losing the weight, right? That's how that happened in my life. And I'm hoping that you can see a little bit about how that has happened in your life as well. Let me know in the comment section. You don't necessarily have to tell me what thoughts you have. If you can't share those, that'd be awesome. But let me know if you can relate to this. Let me know if this makes sense to you. If you can kind of see how your thoughts over time have led to the results that you have right now. So those are kind of some examples of how that works. Sheila, Bob says, I can relate. Yep. So that's kind of how this pattern works. And that's how we coach in our private coaching. If you're interested in just straight up getting a one-to-one coach, reach out to Coach Nancy or Coach Karen. They are, Anne says, I've had those same binging thoughts. Yeah, because it's all kind of the same thing. We all sort of have the same issue when we have an issue with overeating, right? We have very, very similar thoughts. And so we look at this here and we say, okay, I weigh 250 pounds now. I want to weigh 140, say. That's my goal weight forever, maybe. Like my goal weight is, I'm 150 and my goal weight's 110. So like I want my result to be 110. What do I have to do? I have to change my thoughts, period. That's how I have to do it. Now, oh, Michelle, that's so sweet. She says, wow, you're looking beautiful after birth. Thank you. It's actually funny because I'm losing all my hair. You can't really, it's hard to tell on this video, but it's so thin up here compared to how it normally is. And my hair fit is really flat right now because I lose so much hair, postpartum hair loss. But of course I see all the things that are negative, right? Thanks, Michelle. Sorry, I can't take a compliment. Anyways, so if we want to change our results, if we want a different result, we have to change our thoughts. And how do we do that? Now, there's a lot of people that will tell you you just need to do affirmations, right? Like you just need to write down the thoughts that you want on a sticky note and put them in front of you and just practice that thought over and over again. No, that doesn't work. That's not it. That's not what we're doing. The answer to this is in the Eat to Live Academy, right? The answer to how do you change your thoughts, that's in the Eat to Live Academy. So let me tell you a little bit about that. If you're just joining us, the Eat to Live Academy is my 8-week digital coaching course. You can follow it at your own pace, and it tells you all these concepts. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's in the academy. 8 weeks, as I said, so you get 60 to 90 minutes of videos that you can watch that give you all of these lessons. And by the time you've done with the 8 weeks, you're like dialed in, you know what you're supposed to do, and you just have to practice it. You also get an included private Facebook group so you can ask questions and get coaching in there from myself and from Nancy and Karen as well. So let's talk a little bit about what's in the academy. I have a little syllabus right here. So let me just read this. So we start off in week 1 with the fundamentals and how did we get to where we are? Why are we in this position? By the time you're done with that lesson, you'll know exactly that there's nothing wrong with you and why you are where you are. It starts to just open up the thought patterns, right? Week 2, we start to talk in depth about this model, okay? This model is everything. Once you understand how your thoughts are creating your results, that's when you can begin to change things. It's not until you fully understand where you are right now. And I promise you this, it's not like I just need to change my thoughts. How do I change my thoughts? That's not what you need to learn. What you need to learn is exactly what thoughts you're having now and why you might have created the results you had before. Because what would happen is when you really come into understanding your own thought pattern, that's when you start to go, oh, now I can see what I have been thinking and I can see how kind of like off that is. And now I just want to choose new thoughts. Now it's easy to choose new thoughts because you fully understand how, I don't want to say it, but like how crazy your thoughts were, right? Like my thought when I open the fridge and I see some pasta of, I have to eat all that pasta so I don't eat it tomorrow. Like that's crazy. It doesn't make any sense, right? But like that's my thought. And that's what leads to me eating all the pasta, like way more pasta than I need in one sitting. When we understand what our thought pattern is now, that's when we can start to make those changes. And so that's what we talk about in week 2. And you can also go to the Facebook group and get coaching from us to look at your own personal thought patterns, and we'll help you figure them out and learn about them. And you can also search through. I mean, this academy has been open like 4 or 5 times now, and each class that goes through it puts their own thoughts in there, and we work through that together. So you can go through and find old posts as well of people who probably have very similar issues to you too, and you can see exactly how we coached on that as well. So lots of really great information in that Facebook group. So we'll give you the model, which is this, and we talk very in depth about it, which is basically how to solve any problem you have in your life. It's just by using this model. If you want to get any different result, you use that model. Then week 3 is all about Eat to Live 101. So we're going to talk about basic stuff that you need to know, but also we start to talk about the practical tools that you need in order to create your own weight loss trajectory. Okay, so we're going to talk about sensations and feelings, why feelings are so important in this model. We're going to talk all about that. We talk about prepping and planning, how to do that when you don't want to, right? Which is, it's not like, how do I make a bunch of soup at once? That's not it. It's like, how do you do it when you don't want to? That's what we talk about there. And then protocols and why they're critical. And the following week, we're going to do some more practical tools. We're going to talk about how to commit, how to use the scale, and then how to create a massive action plan for yourself. In week 5, we talk about how to deal with negative emotion and cope better. So why, when we have a negative feeling, why do we skip to these terrible actions, and how we can change our feelings and how we can work from new feelings. We talk about how to accept our emotions instead of emotionally eating, right? Like instead of trying to find comfort from food, we talk about how to accept the emotions we're having and not use food to get out of that. Week 6 is my absolute favorite week. Oh, it's the best because I teach you the one tool that you need to know to stop cravings and to never overeat ever again. Like to stop cravings forever. I mean, physically, like you never get them again. This is the tool that we learn in week 6 about how to do that. I use it. I'm using it myself right now. Every time I'm getting back on track, I'm always using this one tool. It is the way out of those patterns that we have. We talk about how to actually feel worthy and how to feel like you actually deserve this. I know us women have that issue. I had that issue for a long time. Week 7, we start to talk about body image, how to feel better so that we can eat better, how to love ourselves now, not just when we've lost the weight, but how to love ourselves now, how to get confidence, and how to improve our body image so that we can make changes long term instead of just hating ourselves into doing a cleanse or something, right? And then how to actually care for ourselves properly instead of just like going to get a manicure. And then week 8 is where we really go to the future. So, as I talked before, we're looking at what results we want. That's what we talk all about in week 8, how to use future thinking to create results now. And then I also have a really robust Q&A section too. So every question anyone's ever asked me, like, how do I do this when I'm in menopause? Or what if I have cancer? Or, what if I have really bad PMS or this or that or this or that? How do I do that if this, if that? I have a whole section that answers all those questions too, because I've heard these questions millions of times. And every time I've ever done a video, I hear these same questions. And by the way, this is a Q&A, remember. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section here what your questions are, and I'd be happy to answer any of them. So that's what's included in the Eat to Live Academy. All those things are answered. I have in-depth videos on everything with visuals and exercises and different modules and things. You can go through it at your own pace. You also have the included Facebook group that if you're interested in getting actual coaching from myself, from Coach Nancy and Coach Karen, you can go in there and get that as well. And I have a couple of bonuses. It's a planning and prepping theory guide and a nutritarian recipes formula guide too. Okay. So that's everything that's included in the Eat to Live Academy. It's super robust. You can go through it at your own pace. When you join, you get it dripped week by week. So you'll get week 1 right away. Then you get week 2 a week later. As soon as you invest, then you get the next week and the next week, a week after that dripped out. And you get Facebook access right away, so you can get in there as soon as you want. So that's the Academy. You run through that, get through that 8 weeks, and then all these videos are available to you forever. All the updates will always be available to you, and you can go through it at your own pace. And I've had so many people that have gone through the Academy that go through it again and again. Because I promise you, if you watch one of these videos today, and then you watch it again in, say, 14 weeks, you'll pick up all different things, and you will just continually learn, right? Because our learning process is never over. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any questions. Now, if you're interested in the Eat to Live Academy, there's a link for it in the description. There's also a link in the comment section here. As always, when I open registration for one of my programs, I only open it for a few days. So it's Tuesday now. You only have a couple more days to get into the Academy. So I want you to really consider it, because it's the last time I'm opening this for the whole year. You won't be able to get in again. I don't even know if I'm going to be opening it again next year. I don't mean to like scare you or something, but I'm not sure I'm going to be opening it again in this way. So you can't get in on it again, at least not for this year for sure. And the next year, we're going to be doing another challenge in January. And then we're going to be opening up the Eat to Live Family, which is a monthly coaching membership that won't be available till February-ish. A monthly coaching membership where you can get more coaching on this, and you'll get live interaction like this with me every month, and with Karen and Nancy as well. But you won't be able to get that until February. So if you want help now, right? And here's the thing. So as I was saying, like with my struggles and watching people go through the 21-day challenges and always asking that question, how do I keep going? How do I stay consistent? Eat to Live Academy. That's it's the mindset stuff. It's the thought work. It's 100% what it is. And so I'm going to stay on here for a little bit longer because I want to answer some questions. If you guys have any questions, please ask them now, because I'm going to head off in just a few minutes here. But it's only open for a little bit longer. Okay. So make sure you sign up. My hair, as I was saying, I'm losing hair and it just looks different than normal. Like It's a lot more wispy right here than normal. But yeah, so sorry for the tangent. But so if you're interested in finally figuring out how to end that struggle, right? Like end the consistency issue, the Eat to Live Academy, I created that 100% for this. How do I eat healthy? How do I love it? And how do I do it for the rest of my life without drama? And I don't just mean like, how do I do a 21-day challenge over and over again? And like in between challenges, I kind of don't do so good. And like on the weekends, I'm not perfect. And, on the, and during the holidays, I don't do that great. That's not what I mean. I don't mean like mostly nutritarian, right? I mean like, how do you get to the place? And in the family, when I'm releasing in February, I got 5 levels in that family. And you can, when you join, you'll be able to see which level you're in. But the 5th level is what Dr. Furman calls the black belt level. And I want to explain what that level is because that's where I'm trying to get you. That 5th level it's the place where food is no longer an issue for you. Food is you don't use food for comfort anymore, right? Like, can you imagine? I'm sure you can imagine it. I'm sure you don't understand how to get there, but I bet you can imagine what that must be like when food is no longer your answer, right? Like you don't go to food or wine or cigarettes or anything like that for comfort anymore because you don't need it, right? Like when chocolate cake just sounds like I'd rather not. I don't really want that, right? Like what? Is that even possible? Yes, that's possible. That's where I want you to get. That's the level 5 I'm talking about. It's a place where there's no drama. It's a place where there's no like willpower needed anymore. You're basically Dr. Furman, right? Like you just like choose the healthy foods no matter where you go, no matter what you do. There's no drama whatsoever anymore. You don't mind. You're so excited to do it and it's just like you don't even think about it. And I'm going to explain how that happens, okay? It's this step right here. So, of course, it's from your thoughts, but it's really like I want to talk about what that would look like if you were there. So, the feelings that you would have, like right now, what we think we need in order to lose weight and maintain it forever, we think that we need to have willpower. We need to have feelings of willpower. We need to have feelings of motivation. We need to have feelings of excitement and, just like, I'm ready to go, like we think we need that. That's not it. That is not what we need. In order to be consistent for life, we need, like, imagine Dr. Furman. What kind of feelings do you think he has about the food? He just, and I've been around this man when he's eating, right? Like, I did a video on food addiction a while back. And you guys can see that video. I traveled out to the Eat to Live retreat to ask him about food addiction and actually witnessed him eating because when I arrived there, he had just finished playing tennis or something like that, and he was really hungry. And we were going to do an interview for like an hour or so. And so he was standing at a counter eating like 6 mandarin oranges or something. Like I think he pulled them off the tree at the retreat or something like that. And he just was like scarfing down these oranges, just like eating, just so he could go do this interview, right? And I remember just like the way he was eating, he was like eating, he wasn't like, he didn't even care. He just was like eating the food and like having a conversation with me, right? And I asked him, like, I was just thinking about like how he was doing that. And I just get this sense from him watching him eat. And then we had a meal together later too. I just get this sense from him that it's like the food is like the last thing on his mind. You know what I mean? It's like those unicorns that say that food is fuel, like Coach Karen. She's hilarious. She's always telling me like, food is fuel. And I'm like, I just don't really like relate to that message very much, but like, that's the thought pattern, right? Food is fuel. Like it is nothing else. It's fuel. It's not enjoyment. It's not enjoyment. Do you understand that? Like, it's not even enjoyment. It's just food. It's just fuel. How could you get to a place where food just is there and you just eat it? Well, I'll explain to you how that happens. Your feelings have to change from motivation, excitement, willpower. Because like Dr. Furman is not sitting there like forcing himself to have oranges when he could have chocolate cake. Like he's just eating oranges because he wants oranges, because like oranges are the right choice instead of whatever other junk food he could have or whatever, because it was what was around and it was nutritarians. We just ate it, it's like the thing he ate. He's not sitting there like, I'm so excited to eat this food. I'm so motivated to eat this food. He's just eating the food. So there's a difference between what we think, and all the diet plans will tell you. How do I get motivated? How do I stay motivated? It's not motivation. That's not the feeling you need. The feeling you need to do this forever, to have a result of forever, is calm, peace. What's the other one I always am saying? Like empowerment, but like no drama. It's like just calm, peace, ease. I love that one. Just ease. It's like there's no feeling really at all. You're just kind of like, do what you do. It's not even like, it's not excitement. It's not motivation. It's nothing. It's just like there is really no feeling about your food. You just eat the food, right? Can you see how that's different from what everyone's always telling you of like, you need a accountability group and you've got to fire yourself up, and like that's not what we're looking for. We want no drama. So that's the level 5 I'm talking about. Like we don't want any drama, because if there's any drama, then our actions are kind of dramatic, right? But if it's calm, peaceful ease, we just eat nutritarian food. Like imagine Christmas time, if your feelings were calm, peaceful, and easy, right? When are our feelings ever calm, peaceful, and easy during Christmas time, especially around food, or Thanksgiving for that matter? They never are, because we have so much drama in our thought pattern about it. Oh, I'm going to go off track. Oh, this is going to be so tough. They're going to have this, they're going to have that, whatever. Do you think if Dr. Furman went to, some Christmas gathering, that he would throw his plan out the window and not eat nutritarian? No, of course he would just find whatever's nutritarian, or he'd eat beforehand or whatever. There would be no consideration. He would like do what he has to do. That's level 5. That's where we're trying to go when we're trying to get the result that we're looking for, because the result is not just goal weight for a few weeks. It's goal weight forever, healthy food forever. How do we do that? Getting the feelings in line and finding the thoughts that create those feelings. And then how do we get our sort of programmed thoughts that we've had for our whole life, the ones I was talking about, the pasta in the fridge, or like all that drama. How do we turn that drama into ease and peace now? How do we change those thoughts? That's what we learn in the Eat to Live Academy. So if this there's not very many questions today, which is unlike you guys, but that's okay. I'm going to head out here in just a minute, but I just want to say finally, this is what we have in the Eat to Live Academy. These are the lessons that you will learn how to take drama out of things. Like right now, we're in a very tumultuous time in our history with COVID, with all the things that are happening around us. It's just a little bit crazy right now for all of us. How do we stay on our plan, stick to our goals, do what we want to do? How do we stay there for life, even at a time like this? I promise you it's possible. I'm doing my vlog exactly about that, my weight loss vlog. Every day I'm vlogging about how I'm getting back to that place of peace, and how it is what it is. Like, it's no big deal. It just is. You just eat the food and you don't derive your comfort from it. You have drama going on in your life. How do you deal with the drama instead of using the food to get out of the drama? Right? That's what we talk about, all about in the Eat to Live Academy. So I made this 8-week Eat to Live Academy. It's a digital course. You can go at your own pace. When you first sign on, when you first register, you get access immediately to the first week, and then that will lay the foundation. And then the next week, you get access to everything about this model. And the following weeks come 1 week after that until you've been through 8 weeks. Or 7 weeks as it were, and then you finish it, and then you have just access for life. You can go through these lessons over and over and over again. You can get help in the private included Facebook group, so you get one-on-one coaching from myself, Karen, and Nancy about any kind of an issue you might personally be having, and we just run through that together. So if this sounds awesome, I would love for you to check out more about the Eat to Live Academy. I promise you, I guarantee it will change your life. I guarantee you it will change your life. And if it doesn't, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. But I still guarantee if you do the work, which you've got to do the work to be able to get the refund, by the way. But if you do the work and you start going through this and applying it to your own life, it will change the way that you think, which will in turn change the way you feel, act, and the results that you get. Okay. So, man, I'm really not used to you guys being so quiet. It's strange because there's a lot of you on this call and you guys have been so quiet. Maybe I didn't ask enough questions. I don't know. I'm so glad you're here, though. If you have any final questions, please ask them now, or forever hold your peace, because remember, this is the last time that I will be releasing or opening the Eat to Live Academy for registration this year, so you won't be able to get in on it. It's the perfect thing to do before the holidays, by the way. We got just a few weeks here until Thanksgiving. Once you start going through those lessons, you'll have a great solid plan for Thanksgiving as well. You can put that together. And before Christmas, you should be able to finish it before Christmas and you'll have all the lessons. And it should really give you a good start before the new year, to stay on track this season and just stick to your goals and figure out how to make healthy eating something that you want and love to do for the rest of your life. Okay. So, you quiet people, I'm going to let you go now. Now, as I said, Eat to Live Academy is only available for registration for another few days. Mark my words. Once we close it, we close it. You can't get in again afterwards. And it won't be available for the rest of this year for sure. Definitely not in January. That's for sure too. And so you want to get in on it now if you can. And there's a link in the description of this video. There's also a link I put in the comment section, so you can go straight to look at the registration and check that out because it's only available for a few more days. Okay, Sheila asks, for me, it's so hard to explain to people why I'm eating this way. Oh, no salt, no oil. Oh, plant-based vegan, so hard. Everybody says around you, this is just a fancy, popular thing. And they put you in a box. I totally get it, Sheila, for sure. Societal pressure is tough because we are tribal people, right? So we have always been tribal people, and it's important for us to be part of a tribe. It has always been important for us to be part of a tribe because being outside of the tribe meant death, right? So if we weren't in the tribe, we would be shunned or we would be exiled, and then we wouldn't have enough food, or we would starve to death, or we would freeze to death or something like that. So it's innate in our brains to want to be part of the tribe. That's what makes it so hard. It's also why people outside of your tribe have a hard time accepting what you're doing because they don't understand your tribe. Do you see my meaning? So we have a very deep psychological need to be part of a tribe and for other tribes to accept us, right? Like if we feel like we're an outcast, like for instance, Chila is Hungarian. My ex-husband is Hungarian. So they have a very strong community in Sarasota, Florida of Hungarians. They happen to all flock to Sarasota. There's a big population of Hungarians there. And amongst Hungarians, I know it's tough. I used to have the same issue when I was married to my ex-husband because they eat the Hungarian way. And so when you get into groups of Hungarians, they're eating a lot of meat, a lot of cheese, a lot of bread, things like that. And for them, being part of that tribe, like being part of a Hungarian tribe is very important, especially for, I don't want to speak for Chile, but I know for other Hungarians that I know, being part of a Hungarian tribe, like you can think of it like a bunch of Venn diagrams, right? Like you've got the Hungarian circle, you've got the meat and cheese eating circle, you've got the eat to live circle, and do they intersect at all, right? Like you've got your family circles, or say you're, I don't know, say you're Mexican, or say you're European or something like that. You've got that circle, you've got all these different circles. Maybe you do yoga, you've got a yoga circle, all these different circles of people that you interact with on a daily basis. Those are our tribes, right? So say your Hungarian tribe is not eating the way that you eat, you're gonna feel like an outcast when you're amongst them. Especially since, and this isn't just for Hungarians, this is for everybody, our society is based on food and drink, right? So whenever we get together with people, we have such an issue being the outcast, so to speak, right? And that's just from our tribal, like, evolutionary kind of origins, right? Is wanting to stick with that tribe and stay in the tribe. And when you're in a tribe that doesn't do what you do, you feel like such an outcast. So you say, And how to explain to someone who's a doctor eating macaroni and cheese with steak and give a speech, right, about health. Yeah, I totally get it, right? So you have a friend that's a doctor. He's sitting here eating mac and cheese and you want to help him, or he wants to know why you eat the way you do. So first of all, okay, first of all, my favorite thing to say to people when I'm in a tribe of people who don't eat the way I do and they're questioning me, my favorite thing to say is because it makes me feel better. I've found through experimenting that I just feel better when I eat this way. Nobody can argue about your feeling in that respect, you know? Like they couldn't be like, "Oh no, you don't," because they don't know how you feel. So if you say that you're feeling better when you eat this way, they're like, "Oh, okay." They might then question you, "But how can you do it when everyone's eating pizza? Don't you love pizza?" kind of a thing. You'd be like, "Yeah, I really do love pizza for sure. I just feel better when I eat like this, so I eat like this," right? That I found is probably the best way to shut people down when that's happening. Another thing I've heard one time is to say that it's doctor ordered, like your doctor, not the doctor you're talking to who's eating mac and cheese and steak, right? But like your doctor is saying that you have to eat this way, right? That's another way that, I have to eat it for my cholesterol, or I have bad cholesterol. You can make something up, right? Like my doctor said I'm pre-diabetic or whatever and I need to fix this or something. Maybe our friends aren't at that place yet where they're having diagnoses, but they can understand what it would be like if you wanted to change something. They might try to pressure you at that point, and that's where it kind of gets tough. But you can say something like, it's really important for me that I feel good and that I lower my cholesterol or whatever it is. So could you please, I'm just going to eat this food when I'm there, whatever. And so when we do that, a lot of times that can shut it down. I just want to make a comment though, Sheila, about your friend or about wanting to give people a speech about stuff. I try to do that for a little while, right? But it always backfires because when someone criticizes you or thinks that you should eat the way that they do, it's because they're worried about their tribe. They think that it threatens the tribe that they're in, which is the junk food eating tribe, right? They take it as, oh, you're saying I'm not good enough, or you're saying that they're like a little worried too, because they're like, oh, I could never just eat salad all the time, right? And so they're thinking, I could never keep that up. So certainly she must not be able to keep it up too. And if I just pressure her a little bit, maybe she'll join our tribe, right? As you're doing this, the best way to do it is to find a way to just shut it down, because when you start to argue with someone or you start to try to give them a speech, they're going to feel threatened purely because of the tribe thing, not because you're doing anything wrong or they're doing anything wrong or whatever. They're just going to feel threatened because they're thinking like, are you saying my tribe isn't good enough, right? It sounds silly, but it's very deep in our brains, deep-seated type of motivation in our brains, because our brains are motivated by the motivational triad, which is to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and be efficient, right? So most people are going off of the motivational triad, seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. Seeking pleasure is the macaroni and cheese, avoiding pain is not eating differently. But when we're doing eat to live lifestyle, we have to kind of overcome that a little bit. We have to overcome that motivational triad by using this more forward thinking part of our brain called the prefrontal cortex. As we're using that part of our brain, which is the part of our brain that allows us to make rational decisions rather than emotional decisions based on flavor and taste and dopamine hits and things like that, when we can make rational decisions knowing that salad is better for us than macaroni and cheese and steak, that's when we start to actually overcome that brain wiring, and we start to make choices for our long-term health. Now, I don't know what your 100% solution is, Sheila, but I do know that trying to talk to people about what you do and explain it rarely works because it threatens their tribe. So the best thing to do is to try to find a way to just get the spotlight off yourself when you're in groups like that. Now, I got to say, I'm not encouraging you to do this, but I have to say that over time, my tribes have changed and I have stopped being in certain tribes that don't eat this way anyways, because I just don't enjoy when the whole party is based on that food and that drink. It's just not my idea of a good time anymore. But that took me a long time to get to. So I'm not saying don't hang out with the Hungarians or don't hang out with the people that eat that way. I'm saying maybe over time that is your solution, because it just becomes natural for you. Or maybe your solution over time is to Like, the more you go to those parties or the more you hang out with those people and the more they get used to it, the less of a threat it is because they realize that you guys can coexist without having to change each other's food. Do you know what I mean? Like now, if I go to a family gathering with my family, I've been doing this for so long, for 7 years, almost 8 years now. I've been doing it for so long that they don't even question it anymore. They just know. And in some cases, they'll even bring healthier dishes for me. Like when I go to my husband's family's gatherings, they're Mexican. They always have like, beans and rice and steak and tacos and things like this available. But someone always will make some kind of a salad, and it's because of me now. And I just think it's the most beautiful thing that, like, they've gotten to a place where they just accept me for who I am. They know I'm just not going to eat the I'm not going to eat the meat or whatever, and that's totally okay. Like, Cheri doesn't mind. She just eats what she eats and we eat what we eat, and she's not threatening us and we're not threatening her. And someone is nice enough to bring a salad for me too, which is amazing and so appreciated, right? But over time, people get so used to it that nobody sees it as a threat anymore, and it's not that tribal thing anymore. Now you're just enjoying each other's company and that's it. Okay? So I hope that kind of helps a little bit, but that is I think the best way to do this is, she says, I'm not in that group anymore. Okay. Yep. So same kind of a thing, right? Over time, you kind of like change your preferences or whatever. And then she says, the doctor is my boyfriend's daughter's fiance. Okay, so it's a family thing. Totally get it. This is a case of, because this person is going to be in your life without you really having much of a choice, it's more like you're going to have to wear him down over time to not question you anymore and to not like, this doctor clearly doesn't understand nutrition because if he did, he would not be eating the way he eats. But some people you just can never change too, right? Like some people are just going to stay the way they're going to stay and they la 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 la, they don't want to hear any other message, right? So this is the type of a thing where you two are just going to have to get used to each other, and there's going to have to be a way that you can coexist without talking about the reasons why, right? Like you can coexist eating your mac and cheese and steak and you eating your salad without talking to each other about that. Like it just, this is how I eat. I mean, depends on your personality too. Some people might just be like, I just don't want to talk about that with you. It doesn't matter, right? Like, I'm going to eat this, you eat your way. We'll just eat our own food, but we can enjoy each other's company. Or you just let it kind of wear itself down over time and they just get used to it. And that's what it is. So it's hard. I know, Sheila. I know, because it's that tribal thing. And I hope that you can see from my Hungarian example too, that this can apply to any tribe that you're in. If you're not Hungarian, if it's any other tribe, like you're saying, it's a family tribe or it's a work tribe. So many people have these same exact issues when they go to work, and say everyone's going out for lunch and they're going to a place that doesn't have a lot of good choices, and you either don't go with them or you bring your own lunch or you eat, barely anything because there's nothing you can eat, and then you eat later or something, and then people are giving you crap for that, right? It's the same exact thing in any tribe that we're in, and we have to find out, either like let it run its course and let people get used to that change. It's always the hardest in the beginning too, when you start doing this and people are like, oh, she's gonna fail, because they kind of want you to fail because they kind of want you in their tribe still, right? And so it's a matter of either having an actual conversation with people and telling them what you want, or letting it wear itself down over time, that sort of a thing. Okay. I hope that kind of answered it a little bit for you. It's not easy. It's not easy by any means, I don't think. But it really does come down to this model, your thoughts. What are your thoughts about the situation? Are you thinking, I need to eat what they're eating to make them happy? Or is your thought, I'm going to eat what I want to eat no matter what, right? I am not going to go to that restaurant with them because there isn't going to be anything that doesn't have salt and oil. And then you have to deal with the feelings. What are your feelings there? Is your thought, I'm my health is more important than that social gathering this time, right? Or is your thought, I need to please them more than I need to please myself? Look at that. See where you're at there. And what feelings are you creating? Those feelings are what you're going to act out of. So that's how we start to look into this stuff. And as I said, all this stuff is included in the Eat to Live Academy too. So if you want to know more about this and more about how to tweak this stuff as you go, definitely look into the Academy. So Fusion says, what is worse, bread or dessert? I eat bread but quit sugar. Is there any benefit of this diet? So that's an interesting question, Fusion, because it depends on what kind of bread you're talking about and what kind of dessert you're talking about. So there are nutritarian desserts and there are acceptable nutritarian breads, right? So we eat exclusively the Ezekiel brand bread at our house, which is not like white bread at all. It's very dense. It doesn't have flour in it. It's made of a bunch of grains and beans and things like that. Um, and so we eat that type of bread. Can you switch breads, right? I think what you're asking is what's worse, like white breads or French bread or something like that versus, some chocolatey, sugary dessert or something. They're the same. I mean, I would say the question is a little bit loaded, right? Because neither of them fit in the nutritarian diet, really. If you're talking about white bread or that kind of thing, or you're talking about dessert in the typical standard American diet style, neither of them really fit, right? If we're talking about the 10% that's kind of allowed on the nutritarian diet of non-processed but not nutritarian, like lower nutrient foods, then either one is fine, right? If you're going to just have a little bit of it, if you're at your goal weight, if you can maintain that easily, if you don't have food addiction issues, if you have no drama around food, then either of them is fine. If you have them just a little tiny bit, like a tiny bit, right? Like less than 10%, maybe 5% of your calories from that type of a food, totally fine. But if you have any of those other issues, like food addiction issues or overeating issues, or you're not at your nutritarian weight, or you have health issues that you need to be taken care of, neither of them are really useful. So if you're asking for permission, it just depends on where you are, right? It depends on where you are in your journey. And if you quit sugar, you want to think of bread in that way. You want to think of bread like sugar. It's kind of the same thing, right? It's processed almost exactly the same way physiologically when you take that into your body. So, and also those types of things like flour and sugar, they tend to perpetuate food addiction issues and overeating and things like that. So, if you're asking for permission, what's the motivation behind asking that, right? It's because you want permission to have like a little bit of bad food. Or are you level 5 on the nutritarian diet and you don't have any drama about food anymore, right? Like that's where we want to go. That's where we're trying to go. We want to get to the place where we don't even care about dessert. Like if someone was like, yeah, let's have dessert. And you're like, okay, great. You go through the meal and then someone goes, I don't want dessert. And you go, me either. That's where we want to be. We're like, I could do without it. I don't really care. Like, not like I'm trying to really not have dessert, but like I really don't care whether I have dessert or not. That's where we want to be. Then if you have any issues around that, then probably shouldn't be having either of those, right? But also, once you get to level 5, you don't want them anyways because there's not enough nutrients in them and they just seem like a total waste of energy. Like even eating the food is a waste of energy, right? So I hope that answers your question, but yeah. So and you say but your question is, but quit sugar, is there any benefit of this diet? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but once you get on the nutritarian diet and you're eating as many nutrients and fiber as possible, that's what sort of takes away the need for any of that other food. Because once your food addiction issues are taken care of and your mindset is wrapped around this and you don't have that drama around food anymore, then the benefit of the nutritarian diet is 100% because you just are taking in all those nutrients, right? Sheila says it's hard, but thanks so much. You're welcome. I know it's tough, but I just want to say, Sheila, like I had troubles with this in the first few years too. And now I get to the place where whether I go to my husband's family gatherings or whether I go to my mom's family gatherings, it doesn't matter where I go. People just know this is how I eat. So it's, I don't get ribbing anymore. I don't get any real issues with people anymore because they're used to me. Right? They're just used to the way I eat. And my eating this way does not threaten their tribe. Okay. So Fusion says, thanks for the answer. I have a problem actually after eating immediately. I get palpitations about an hour after meal. Yeah. So both of them are bad for you. And I would not eat either. This is probably due to just the sugar content and the way that it breaks down how the insulin is being released. And, you're kind of your pancreas is on overload trying to create insulin to take care of this food, to take care of the sugar that's now in your bloodstream. Because once the food gets broken down, it's basically sugar anyways, and it just goes straight into your bloodstream. Your pancreas has to work to create the insulin to get rid of that sugar. And it's whether you're having dessert or bread, it's the same kind of a thing if there's not a lot of fiber there. So that's why we want to be eating whole plant foods, because that they digest so much slower, like nuts and seeds or beans versus, or Ezekiel bread even, versus like when I had gestational diabetes, we used to have two kinds of bread in our house. We had Ezekiel and we had that Dave's, what is it called? Dave's Killer Bread or whatever. We had those two types of bread in our house, and I would take my blood sugar readings after I ate either a piece of Dave's Killer Bread or a piece of Ezekiel, and they were like so different. Like my blood sugar control was so much better after having a piece of Ezekiel versus the Dave's. I couldn't even eat the Dave's because it just would send my blood sugar way off the charts. And that's not even white bread. It's I mean maybe just a little bit better than white bread, but it's not great for you. But comparatively to white bread, that's almost just like eating some sugar. So that's where those palpitations could be coming from. I don't exactly know. You definitely want to talk to your doctor about this kind of stuff, but it could be just that you're getting that spike of energy, that spike of sugar there, that your body's having a little bit of a trouble kind of regulating afterwards. And certainly, if you're feeling poorly after eating a food, it's not a food to be eating, right? We definitely want to be thinking of how we can get more fiber and more nutrients into each of our meals, into each of the foods that we eat. Instead of looking for permission to have a little bit of extra, how can we look to have the good stuff, right? Like, how can we, instead of like, how do we just have a little bit of the bad stuff? How do we get to eat more and more of the good stuff is kind of a mind shift to look at, okay? Um, and DJ Static says, I just want to eat in general. Yeah, he says, question, I don't know why, but I just don't have an appetite anymore. Weird. We got a 5G tower installed near us about a month ago, and now I'm never hungry. Radiation causes that. This is interesting, right? And I don't have any expertise in this area, so I'm not sure I can help you, because you say you just want to eat in general, but you're not having any appetite, thinking that it has to do with this 5G tower. I really don't have any expertise around that, so I wish I could help. I don't know what your diet is like either. I mean, maybe there's something else going on. I would definitely say check into that with your doctor and see if that there might be something there. But when you can eat, try to eat as much high nutrient food as possible, right? Maybe there's some detox issues or something that you that may be unrelated as well that you want to look at too. Okay, that's all the questions so far, you guys. Great questions. I didn't expect to have some right at the end, which was really nice to hear from you and to be able to answer some of your questions. But so remember, this is all in service to talking about the Eat to Live Academy. Everything we talk about with this mindset stuff, it's included in the Academy. As I said, it's my private coaching program distilled into a 8-week digital coaching course that you can watch at your own pace. I'd love to see you in there. We are only having registration open for the next few days, so make sure you get in there because we're going to close it down and you won't be able to get in, I promise, until after January for sure. If ever again. I actually don't know if we're going to be opening it again because I'm opening up the family after that. So link for this up in the description, wherever the description appears, and then also in the live chat section here in the comments. You can go check that out and see exactly what's included in there and the investment, and you can register right from there. And as always, YouTube is always the best place for live videos. I always have so many people on these videos, and I just love spending time with you guys. So I want to say thank you for spending some of your Tuesday with me. And I hope to see you guys again really soon. I'm going to be doing live videos at least once a month for a while now, so that I can just have some more time with you. It's not going to be related to like openings or anything, like registration periods or anything. I just want to have some more live videos with you. So keep your eyes out for when I'm coming live again. And that's all the questions I have. So make sure you sign up for the Eat to Live Academy. I hope to see you guys in there. Have a good Tuesday evening or Wednesday if you're on the other side of the world. And I wish you guys the best of health and everything else. Love you. Have a good one. Let me figure out how to turn this thing off. Okay. Bye.